Hello, a couple of weeks ago on this channel we featured Beethoven's marvellous late Bagatelle in G major, one of his last pieces for piano, and some of you commented around that time and on previous videos that we hadn't yet featured the B minor, the stormy B minor Bagatelle that immediately precedes the G major. So today we're going to do precisely that, and I'll just say a couple of things about it. This is actually the last tumultuous minor key piece that Beethoven wrote. His whole career, in a sense, was defined by these tumultuous pieces that he'd written from his early 20s, pieces that offended his teacher, Joseph Haydn. He thought that they were, to some degree, outrageous or a violation of good taste. But Beethoven knew in his heart that this was the way he was going to define himself. In some sense, they were a genre that represented him, a stormy, passionate young composer. And it's a genre that you find all the way through his work, right to his last pieces. But the very final piano music of this type is this B minor Bagatelle. And it contrasts this terrifying B minor march, Presto, barely a march, it's like a kind of rush, headlong, a B minor, but it has a martial character, so it is a very, very fast march. And Beethoven himself rarely used the key B minor. He used it in the Agnus Dei of his Missa Solemnis, and in this piece, and I can't think of any other examples. He had different color codings for different keys, but for him, the color of B minor was dark, and in the Mass, the Agnus Dei is a very somber piece indeed, and this too is kind of slightly bleak. It's also tinged with this strange sense of humour of his, constantly obsessing over the notes F sharp and G throughout the march. And then that contrasts with this fabulous beatific bagpipe piece, musette trio section. So you have these two characters, the rather ferocious, terrifying march and the beatific bagpipe music. And then at the end, Beethoven originally came back to the march and ended with this very, very kind of impetuous ending, which I'm going to play in a minute. And then he deleted it. I think in playing it, I'm going to be premiering, in a sense, an original ending that has not been played before. And I suspect this because I've transcribed it from Beethoven's manuscript. So therefore, I don't think it's been played. But anyway, you'll hear it today. It's a premiere of Beethoven, in a sense, Beethoven's original ending. And he crossed it out and replaced it with a return of the bagpipe music. So the beatific music, in a sense, is the unconventional ending. By the end of his career, in other words, the stormy ending is in fact the conventional one. It's kind of more unconventional, more exciting, more surprising to have this beautiful just evaporation, which is what happens in the final version. So without more ado, I'm going to play the original version. Then you'll see the animation and you'll hear the final version of the Bagatelle. And then you can decide which version you prefer. I personally think Beethoven was quite right to delete this. It is in a sense, too conventional, but it's interesting to hear it.